Today, you're going to hear from an absolute titan in the course space. On average, Leila Gharani sells an online course every 6 minutes. She did over $3 million in course sales last year alone, has over 2 million subscribers on YouTube, and her niche, teaching Microsoft Excel. Stay tuned. Hey, Jacques Hopkins here, and listen, thank you so much for being here. Most of you know about my first business, Piano in 21 Days, an online course business I started 11 years ago that has brought in over $4 million in course sales. But my true passion really lies in my second business here, where I get to help you all with your own course businesses through this very podcast and my coaching programs. This business brings in multiple six figures a year, no paid ads. Literally all the traffic comes from this very podcast. So I wouldn't be able to do this without you listening. And my sincere thanks for that. Now, let me introduce you to Leila Gharani. Actually, many of you may be familiar with her already. In fact, it was a listener that requested I have her on. Leila has online courses helping people learn and thrive with Microsoft Excel. She got started a few years ago on Udemy and quickly realized she wanted more control of what she could offer and what she could charge with her courses. So today, she's still on Udemy, but most of her course sales happen on her website. And most of her traffic comes from her YouTube channel, which currently has over 2 million subscribers. Listen in to hear her YouTube strategy for posting content that gets people to buy her courses, how she made the transition from Udemy, and how to stand out in a crowded niche. Let's dive into it. Hi, Leila. Welcome to the Online Course Show.
Hi, Jacques. Great to be here.
When I Google your name, Google tells me you're a YouTuber. That's how it describes you. Is that who you are?
It depends who I talk to. Not anymore. So let's see. I consider myself more an online course creator, a teacher. And yeah, YouTube became a part of that unexpectedly.
I still don't know really how to answer that. Like if people are asking me in everyday life, like, oh, what do you do? Like sometimes I'll say I'm a YouTuber, even though I have maybe 1/100th of the amount of subscribers you have on YouTube. Do you say like, I'm an online educator, I'm an online course creator?
Yes, now more than so. So it's like if someone asked me during the time I'm busy creating course videos, I would say I'm an online course creator. If someone asked me when I'm busy doing YouTube videos, I'd answer I'm a YouTuber. But nowadays, we're more concentrating on the course side. So yeah, I would say an online course creator. That's how I started, actually. The whole online part of my business started with courses. And then YouTube started.
Really? Okay, so let's go back there. How did you get into online courses?
Okay, so my background is similar to yours. So you were in corporate for many years. You were engineer, right?
That's right. Yes.
In engineering, yeah. So I was in corporate doing building systems, Oracle systems, SAP, using Excel a lot at work. And I was in different departments, like from finance, IT, project management. I did that for over 12 years. And after my second child, we were like, we need something. So me and my husband were talking that we needed something more flexible because I'm very career oriented and he was as well. And you know how it is with kids. When someone gets sick, one of you has, or both of you have something important on that day. And then it's like a discussion. Who's going to stay home? Who's going to take care of the kids? Whose job is more important? So it was all these uncomfortable discussions that we had at home. And I was thinking, okay, I need another way. So what if I become a freelancer? So, and at the time, like when in Austria, it works like this. I live in Austria and they have a great system for like maternity. Like if you have a child, you can be on maternity leave for a year, even longer if you want. And you can go back to the job that you had. Like you can go back to work and get paid the same salary that you had before. you might not get the same job you had before, but you will get the same level of salary that you had before. But if someone is doing your job, you would have to do something else. So when I went back to work, I was getting good salary, but I was doing really boring work. Like really, like the most basic things that like no one wanted to do. And I just was telling my husband, like, I'm getting dumber every day at work. I'm not learning anything new. I'm not doing any projects. So that's when the whole thing, and plus all the other issues. So that's when I decided to go into freelancing. And, obviously freelancing can be a lot of work as well, but I thought I could do, like, I was doing some VBA programming, like updating people's spreadsheets. So some of it I could do from home. And then I also started training. So yeah, so my whole business model at the time was offline. I always thought like online stuff was scammy. The only courses I saw online was like how to sell an online course, and that was the course.
Come on, there were piano courses. What year are we talking about?
I never saw any piano courses at the time.
When did you make the leap from the job to freelancing? What year was this?
This was in 2015.
Okay. Yeah. So like, you know, my course existed. We just hadn't gotten it out there too much yet. It really started to take off in 2016. But you're right. Like courses, I mean, compared to today, right? Courses are just everywhere. But back then they weren't as much of a thing. Real quick, I want to jump in on the story. I do think freelancing, I mean, it can be a good gateway from, 9 to 5 to online education. But for you, like, where did you go to get clients? Because it's one thing to just say, oh, I'm going to be a freelancer, but you have to actually find the work.
Yeah, that's true. So what I did, it was all the freelance jobs I got were from people that I knew. So the first job I got was at the same company. So they hired me to do some training for them, and also some consulting. And then because I was so long in this company, so like 12 years, there were so many people who were there and then who'd left and worked, were working at other companies. They heard that I left, and then they asked me if I would help them build the spreadsheet or do some consulting and training. So it was actually just the connections that I had. I did make sure that I connect to them on LinkedIn. So that really helped. So LinkedIn was the way I found my first customers.
How did you know what to charge?
The way so I knew what the consultants were charging us, so when I was there in corporate, so we would hire consultants to help us out. And I knew what their daily rate was. But of course, I was too embarrassed to charge what a real consultant charges because I'm just a new freelancer. So I was charging less than that. But yeah, I mean, pricing is just so difficult. It's something I'm still learning.
So what happens next in the story after you start getting some of these freelancing jobs?
So I got sick. I got the flu. So there was 1 month that I couldn't do any work because I was sick. And that made me realize this is not really, this is not as flexible and sustainable as I wished. So there must be, there must be some other way. There must be something else. So this is when I started researching. I wanted to learn some programming languages during the time I was sick. And then I was researching online, and then I came across these other online courses. So until then, I didn't really, I wasn't even on YouTube. I wouldn't even watch YouTube videos, or I'm not even sure if I even had a login for YouTube. But I started to, I discovered that there were like some programming courses that I could take. And I came across Udemy. And that's when my eyes opened, like, ooh, there's this whole world of courses out there, that people are putting online. So I took a course, and then even at that time, like it didn't register yet that I could create a course. I just took a course, And then went on, continued with my life, trying to find a way to make this more flexible. And at some point, it just hit me, like, are there any Excel courses out there? Maybe I can do an Excel course. And then I saw, ooh, there's a ton of Excel courses on Udemy, which means it's like it works. There are people selling their courses online. So that's when I started to think about creating my first course.
So it's really interesting what you just said. You noticed that there were a lot of Excel courses. You said specifically a ton of Excel courses. And the reaction you just said was that to you, that meant it worked. Not that, oh, this already exists, I'm not going to create it. I get that question all the time here in 2024. Hey, the guitar niche, there's so many courses. It's definitely too late for me to start a guitar course today. Why did you look at it with that perspective back then versus, oh, these already exist, I'm not going to create one?
Good question. The thing was, when I left corporate, my specialization until for the past 8 years or so was Oracle. It was actually Hyperion Financial Management, but it got bought by Oracle. So that was very niche. So everyone told me, when you're a freelancer, that's what you should specialize in, because then you can charge a lot as a consultant. And I thought, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I shouldn't do Excel. The market is saturated. I should do Oracle consulting. And I started with that. So I provided some trainings, but I felt bad every time I worked on a project I just didn't feel good. Every time I opened a spreadsheet and worked with Excel, I felt great. So at the time, I also was working with, kind of like a coach the government provides when you, when you become a freelancer. They had this program where they provide you some hours with a coach. And even the coach told me, don't do Excel. The market's saturated. Do that. It's more logical. But I was like, I just can't. I don't feel good. And if this is going to work in the long term, I have to pick something where, that makes me feel good. Right. So you picked piano. I'm sure it was, it probably was better than some engineering course. So yeah. So for me, Excel just felt right. And the fact that the market was, there were so many courses, I thought, okay, I mean, we'll just have to compete. We'll just have to be better. But it's a sign that it works.
So you make the decision to create a course on Udemy. How was that experience with the first course? You launch it, raging success from day one?
Of course not. No, I think the first people who bought the course were the people who knew me, whom I was training for the companies here in Austria. But that was the first month that I went live with the course. And, I mean, interestingly, but I also picked Udemy at the time because I had no idea how to use a camera or how, audio works or, how to deliver something in a screencast talking to the computer. And I knew that Udemy had, at the time, I think they probably still do now, they were quite strict about what they accept. So you couldn't just publish anything online. You have to go through a test process and approval process. So I picked them because I thought it will help me get better. Because for sure I'm doing everything wrong. And that really helped. So their feedback was great. My audio was improved, got improved, and also the screencast quality and so on. And also because I didn't have to do the marketing myself, or at least that's what I thought. That's why I picked Udemy. So yeah, so the first course, when it was launched, of course, it wasn't very successful. And then I decided, okay, well, I need the next course because I need to get better at delivering. I wasn't happy. The first course had horrible quality. Even though it passed Udemy's quality, it was in my eyes, there could be a lot that could be improved. So, and the only way I could improve is to do videos. That's actually why I started YouTube, because I forced myself to do a video a week. It's just to get better at delivering content to a screen.
What was that first course? Was it just like Excel 101 or was it specialized?
No, it was actually, that was also the point where I was thinking, like, what people wanted most was Excel 101, right? So that was like introductory courses on any topic are high demand. Very advanced courses are also like, they have, there's like VBA programming in Excel, and that's also niche. That's high demand. But I didn't want to do those at first because I knew I have to get better at just, I had to figure things out with the camera and with the audio and all this stuff. So I had to pick a topic that I really felt comfortable in. And I didn't care if it's high in demand or not. And that topic was Excel charts. So charts is like, it's something that not everyone needs. So it's not as popular as the other topics. And I knew that. So that's why I started with it. So yeah. So charts was first. And then 1 year after that, I went with like advanced Excel and then some other specialized chart scores. And then the year after that, I was like, okay, now I'm ready to do something niche, something that I know will sell really well. And because I already had some audience from the other courses, then I did the VBA programming course. And that's when I realized, ooh, we can fully just switch to online. I don't need to do consulting anymore.
What was it about that course that made you feel that way?
That course, it wasn't as, there were courses on Udemy about this, but I knew I could do it better because that's exactly what I was consulting companies with. So that was a topic, like I knew what the problem was that most companies were facing with automation. And I took those topics and I thought, okay, if I take those topics and make a course, I mean, this will be so relevant to so many people, because the VBA courses I saw on the market were just like, teaching basic things. It didn't show how to apply it at like in your corporate job.
What like results maybe made you feel that way? Did all of a sudden you just got an influx of sales every day for this new course?
Yeah. So the moment we published, I think that first month it made 10K on Udemy. So that was like, until that point, like we hadn't done that ever. So that was like, wow, there is high demand for this. And then I thought, okay, but it could just die the next month, but it just continued, just got more and more and more every single month. And I wasn't like marketing it or pushing it.
10K, is that how much, the top dollar that Udemy saw, or is that how much you were actually taking home from this course?
No, that was how much we took home. Yeah.
So this was the third course that you had done, right?
This was, I think by that time it was the fourth course.
What were you doing roughly before that? What figures were you doing up to that point?
I think like the year before that on Udemy might have been like 20K, but an entire year. So yeah, so having the 10K in 1 month was like, ooh.
Did you consider giving up before that happened?
No, not really. I mean, I liked creating courses. I liked the process that went, like by that time I was getting better and I enjoyed the process, and I knew it would work if I find the right topic, if I can deliver it well, if it brings value. It wouldn't make sense to me if it doesn't work.
You had mentioned starting the YouTube channel a little earlier, and your motivation was to get better on video. How's the YouTube channel doing as you're getting better and better at courses and launching new courses?
The YouTube channel was getting better too. So, I mean, it was improving, like the content was improving. So, my delivery was getting better. Yeah, I think for me at the beginning, when I decided to do YouTube, it was also just to like force myself to, to be consistent and deliver content and record and go through the whole process. Because, with creating courses, it's like, it's so intense. We would create a course and then I would not do anything. And then when it comes back to doing a course again, I felt like so stressed because I kind of forgot how everything worked. But with YouTube, it was like consistently every week I had to record a video. And of course I did batch recording and stuff as well. And that made everything easier. It made also creating courses easier. It also helped finding the topics for courses. What people wanted, they would ask in the comments.
How different do you think the business would look today if you didn't take that route with YouTube and you just continued to rely on Udemy's marketing? Because you said one of the advantages there was that you didn't have to really worry about marketing. You just put out great courses and let Udemy's marketing work for you. If you would have kept doing that without having your own marketing channels like YouTube, how different do you think things would be today?
I don't think I would be doing this anymore. I don't think I would be. The thing is, like with Udemy, I would have to keep up creating a new course every single month. The market there is super crowded now. It was crowded before, but it's like there's so much competition there. And it's not enough anymore to just like create one course a year or 2 courses a year, which is like what I was doing. I think we managed maximum like 2 courses a year. So it wouldn't be sustainable. Like for us, I just can't. I can't create a course a month. There's so much that goes into like the whole research, preparing all the workbooks, and I also wanted to provide to put so much in the course. So we also have like ebooks and PDF handouts and all this stuff, because that's what I value a good course should be. Like it should have everything, cheat sheets, everything. And to provide all that and put it on a platform, that also sells it for very little, it wouldn't be sustainable for us, because I wouldn't be able to afford all our teaching assistants, because I want the students to have a good experience. I want to answer their questions. We want to provide a lot more value, and that wouldn't be sustainable to do it that way. And YouTube, I realized it was also good. Like we also managed to do our own marketing when I was on Udemy. So at the beginning, under the YouTube videos, like we would have the Udemy links and direct people to Udemy to get our courses. So the more I got known on YouTube, the more it helped my whole Udemy presence as well. So I'm not sure if the courses would have been bestseller if I wasn't on YouTube, or if YouTube also gave it a push.
When did you decide you wanted to sell your courses on your own?
That was in, I think, 2017, 2018. I think in 2018, I started Teachable. And that was when I realized it's not sustainable for us to create courses like this. So the course that I mentioned, the programming course, the VBA course, that was over 20 hours of content. That course took months to create, and I was working on it day and night. And I wouldn't be able to put out content like this on Udemy.
Was the decision strictly monetary? Hey, I want to be earning way more per sale from my courses that I put so much effort into?
No. It was also to be able to provide more value. So we wanted to have assessment tests, and we wanted to add ebooks and, a lot more into the course. And it made more sense to do it on our own.
Okay. So you're building your YouTube audience and you decide to start selling courses on your own website. The first time you do that, do you have some kind of big launch?
No. So for a long time, Udemy was our number one, the number one platform in terms of earnings. And then it was YouTube, and then it was Teachable. So the problem we had was how to move away. Like, I love Udemy, and I still have some courses on Udemy. But when we realized that it's not sustainable for us to continue like this, I wanted to, we wanted to price our courses to what I thought, what we thought is appropriate. So the problem was, how Udemy works, it's, a lot cheaper courses. So, and I was known as, as the Udemy person. So it was very difficult to, to price our courses the way I wanted to. And so the pricing was very similar to Udemy at the time. But then we realized that's not sustainable. Like, the whole reason we're moving away is to provide more value. We have to, we have to increase prices, but then we're competing with our own Udemy courses. So we differentiated. I even put in a lot more bonus content, hours and hours more into our own, into the courses that we had on our platform. So even though it was like the same course on Udemy, it wasn't really the same course because it had like 4 extra hours, plus it had ebooks and so on. But it became very difficult to explain to people, oh, this is like this. People would ask, is this the same one? Nah, it's kind of the same, but this one has more. It's like this. And yeah, and we had to, we also had to increase the price. And this is something I really had a lot of problems with. I just, like, personally, psychologically, every time, like, my husband would be like, so are you going to increase the price? Are you going to charge it what it's worth? I would just feel sick in the stomach. I'd be like, I can't do that. So I had to work with a coach to help me understand, it's all psychological, and a lot of it has to do maybe with our backgrounds, with our experiences. So I had to work with a coach to overcome that.
I get that a lot. People very afraid to charge high prices. Mm-hmm. So having been through that, how would you coach somebody today on charging more?
I would just do it. Now I'm okay. I don't have any, I understand the value. The thing is, like, when I looked at my own behavior, what I was purchasing, what I was paying for, I was paying a lot of money for, like, coaching I had. I think the coaching I took was over 1,000, it was like 2,200 per 1 hour session, or even 45 minutes. I was paying for that. I valued that. I was paying a lot of money for other courses, for business courses, programming courses. So I was taking courses outside of Udemy as well that I was paying a lot for. So I was like, if I'm doing that, why am I just devaluing, my courses? And the thing is, yes, I do want them to be accessible to a broader audience, to people in different countries. The problem, what I realized was that when I think something is affordable, it's not affordable everywhere. So whatever I priced it, so at the beginning on Teachable, like, we did price our courses, I think 27 for like a 16-hour course. Like, I thought that was amazing. That's affordable, but it's not affordable for some people. Even that is still too expensive. So then that's when I had to work with on myself and with the help of the coach to understand, like, what is it that I think is good in the long term for for the company and just for me in general.
I'm sure you've heard the expression, when people pay, they pay attention. So charging more can certainly be a way to actually serve people better. But there is an upper limit to how much we can charge too. We don't want to just take that advice and charge an astronomical amount. Yeah. How did you decide where to stop that? Like, I want to charge more, but I don't want to charge too much.
We did market research to see what other people are charging, but it also was what I thought the course would be, what I would pay for the course. It was also not in one step. So I didn't go like, oh, this is 27 and now I'm going to charge like 199. It wasn't in one step. It was like 6 steps, right? It was like, first I'll just charge, because what I didn't want to do is increase the price and then decrease it. I didn't want to go that way. I just wanted to go, because I would feel bad for the people who would buy it at a higher price and I would decrease it. So I just started small. And then I thought, okay, let's just see how do I feel about it? How does it make me feel? Do I feel bad charging people this much? And and then from that, these incremental, like every year, we increase the price until like now I feel it's good.
So fast forwarding to today, you mentioned you still have courses on Udemy. You're obviously selling courses on your own website. I think I saw somewhere that, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, you brought in like $3 million from courses. Is that a rough, accurate number?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Amazing. Rough breakdown now, since you are still on Udemy, like percentage coming from your own sales on your website versus Udemy.
Udemy is, because on Udemy, we haven't published anything new for a while. So it has been going down, and they've also changed their policy recently as well, especially for Udemy for Business. So our main platform is our own courses now, Teachable. So that would make like 70% of our income. And then it's Udemy and then YouTube.
Are you able to get any of the Udemy traffic over to your own website, or is that kind of frowned upon?
I mean, there are people who were my Udemy students who also bought my Teachable, like the same course on Teachable. But I mean, I don't directly bring people from Udemy to our website, but they might be on my newsletter, and then we release a new course that's only on our website. So they would sign up to it.
How are sales happening today? So continuing with today, you have a fantastic website. There's lots of courses somebody can go buy. I noticed that some mention, 40% off, other discounts. Do you have these elaborate funnels, or is it just, hey, here's the courses I offer, you can buy it or not buy it?
We have some, like some email sequences, but nothing like too elaborate. We do have like a free course for one of the bigger courses that we offer. We have a small free course version. So people consume that, and then they get some emails if they want to upgrade to the main course. But I would say most of our audience, so most of our customers, they come from YouTube, and they would join, maybe like they watch a video, they want to download a workbook or a template that we offer, or a cheat sheet. Then they join our newsletter subscribers. They become a newsletter subscriber, and then that way we would like make them some offers, depending on how they came from and what they're interested in. But I mean, there can be so much that can be done with email, and I'm still like, every month I'm like, okay, this time, like for just the next few days, I'm going to concentrate on this email sequence, or I'll work on the quizzes and add some quizzes. So every month I try to work on something, to add something or change something that maybe wasn't working. But it's nothing really elaborate.
When somebody joins the email list and you're promoting a certain offer, Is there any sort of urgency? Like, do you drop in, hey, this discount's only going to be available for the next week, or this course is only going to be available for the next week?
Yeah. Yes. So what I've started doing is for new people that would enter, that would join our newsletter, some of them immediately get a discount on our basic course, like Excel 101 course. That offer is valid. So I just say this is like a 20% discount, and it's valid for some time. Sometimes I tried like to say it's valid only for 24 hours. And we were using Deadline Funnel. We're still using Deadline Funnel. But for this one, I've left it as always valid. But then for the new people that enter, like at the end of every month, I would give them a discount on any course. So, maybe, like a 20% discount, and maybe add in a bonus course. And then that would be time restricted as well. So within 2 days, 3 days.
I love that you're using Deadline Funnel. I mean, so many people I have on use it. I mean, it's just the gold standard with evergreen deadlines. You have so many courses that you're offering though, like with Piano in 21 Days, we just have one main offer. Somebody comes through and we trigger Deadline Funnel and they can either take advantage of the discount we're offering by the certain time or not. How do you know which course to promote to which people?
Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's not. So it depends. Like if they come from a special YouTube video. So let's say I'm covering like Power BI. So I would offer them the Power BI course. So that's obvious. But the funny thing is like, I created this free course as a point of entry. So let's say someone watches the Power BI video on YouTube. Then they enter to join the free Power BI introductory course. And then after that, after they finish the course, then they would get some emails with a Deadline Funnel, discount. And what I realized is I tried to experiment and change that into different formats. And the strange thing is, like, when I made it even better, when I made the course, the introductory course, the free one, even better, and I split it into like 5 days, that had the least conversions. In terms of people converting to the main offer, to the complete Power BI course. But it had like 1% conversion, right? Which is pretty bad. But it had an 8% conversion into people becoming customers because they bought some other courses from us. So yeah, with the different, it's not easy. It's something I'm still trying to figure out. Like, do I just offer them this course or should we just offer them everything? But then they might be confused and not know, which direction to go. So yeah, so we're just experimenting.
So next, I want to ask you a little bit about your YouTube strategy, because some people join YouTube and their goal is the kind of the end game is YouTube, and they want to just grow as big a following as possible, maybe get some money from the ads. But when your goal is course sales, what is your strategy to get people to watch your content and then leave YouTube and go buy your courses?
Just deliver good content. That was the strategy. So, like, if you watch our YouTube videos, we don't pitch our courses unless it's a video where, because when we work on a course, we know, okay, we will make 2 or 3 YouTube videos where we are going to pitch the course. But all the other YouTube videos we put out there, we don't pitch our courses. It's just that we deliver good content, and then people see in the description of the video, or maybe there's a pinned comment on the video saying, download this or join our newsletter, stay updated. And then they would join the newsletter, and then they might be interested in a course. But yeah, so our strategy is just deliver good content.
Do you have any some sort of call to action at the end of all your videos?
No, it's just to subscribe to the YouTube channel, the usual, but nothing like, we have courses, get the courses. I just, at the beginning, I was doing that when I started YouTube. I was trying to sell my course, the first course, that I published, but I just felt bad doing it. I'm not really good in sales. And I thought, you know what, if we just provide good content and people find it good, they might just buy our courses. And that's the way we went.
Yeah, asking people to subscribe is certainly a call to action. I've been on YouTube for 11 years, and the algorithm and the strategy has changed drastically through the years. And the popular advice when I was getting started was, always have a call to action over to your website, to your lead magnet. And in the past few years, the advice is more, don't do that every video, because YouTube wants to keep their users on YouTube. And so I've been doing more calls to action where I'm just pointing people to another YouTube video. Do you do that sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes, but not like we don't sit down and say, okay, we will make a series or we will make this based on that. If it just happens to fit, oh yeah, that video would also, be a good follow-up, then we would mention it. But otherwise, with YouTube, it's like I also do topics on YouTube that I don't have courses about. So like we have Windows YouTube videos, we have PowerPoint. I don't have PowerPoint courses, or we don't have Windows courses. The audience is probably similar. But yeah, so for YouTube, it's also for me, like, to express the things I'm interested in outside of courses, because I might like this new update that the snipping tool got, and I want to talk about it. So we published a YouTube video.
Yeah, I was watching a video you made earlier today. I was watching it. It was about ChatGPT. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant, because I doubt she has a ChatGPT course, but there's probably a lot of crossover, people discovering that wouldn't have found her content otherwise, that could still use the Excel training. It sounds like that is the strategy you have in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also
but
fun.
You wouldn't, okay, yeah. But you probably wouldn't do like a cooking video or a fitness video, right? Something more adjacent.
It's also not in my specialty.
Well, what are some of your hobbies? What are your non-techie hobbies?
Good question. It's gardening, a little bit of gardening, but walking, if that's a hobby.
On your YouTube channel?
Sorry?
Have you done a gardening video on your channel?
No.
And you wouldn't, right?
No.
Maybe that's what you'll do when you sell this business for billions of dollars. You'll be the gardening person on YouTube.
Yeah, it's everything not to do in a garden. That's what they will learn.
So look, I want to ask you about how, I know you're not an attorney or anything, but you're teaching somebody else's product, right? So how do you handle, like, can I use Microsoft? Can I use Excel in my branding, in my course names? Like, have you been through that whole thing? And can you teach me anything about it?
Yeah, at the beginning, I did think about this, but then I saw, okay, everyone else is using it, so it must be okay. But I work also with Microsoft. Not with Microsoft, but I'm a Microsoft MVP. So we do meet the Microsoft team. We have meetings once a month. They do want us to talk about their product. So that's why they are okay that we use their branding, because, the more people learn how to use the product, the more they will use the product. So it's actually to their advantage.
How did you come up with your brand name?
It was just random. I think I was just lying in bed once. I was like, I need like a website, something that's not taken. And we had some like router by the window that had something with plus. And I was like, oh, I'll just go look if XL Plus is available. And it was available. And yeah, and I just registered it, and it became our brand name.
Did you consider, though, EXCEL plus instead of XEL plus?
No, because I didn't just want to do Excel. Yeah, even at the time, because I loved Excel, but I was like, I might want to do like Google Sheets. I might want to do like finance courses. So I didn't want to be specifically Excel.
And then your YouTube channel, I noticed, was not that brand name. It was your name, right? Was there any strategy around that?
Yeah, at the time when I looked this up, first I had Excel Plus as the name, and I realized that's too corporate. And YouTube doesn't seem to be corporate. Everyone, it's more personal. And the channels I followed, they had their own name. So I thought, okay, on YouTube, I will just try it and go with my name.
With your topic and teaching different types of software, I'm curious how often you feel like you have to update courses you've done. I don't have to deal with that much with piano. The art of the piano doesn't really change. The technology doesn't really change, but I imagine it changes a good bit with teaching software. Do you ever have to be like you see an update from Microsoft and you're like, oh no, now I have to completely redo this course?
Yeah, Excel didn't used to change so much like it's doing now. Now Microsoft is really keeping up and making updates to Excel. So yeah, so we do think about that, and we update our courses. So aside from Excel, there's Power BI, and Power BI changes every single month. So what we do is that in the course, we have this whole section about updates. And under each video is like, okay, check out this update. And at some point, we will have to recreate the entire course with the new updates because things will change too much by that time. Yeah. And with Excel, we do keep we add the updates inside the course as they come. And after some time, it would just be time to create a new course.
And are you the one, I've looked at a lot of your YouTube videos. You're always the one on camera. Are you the one always teaching the courses too, or do you have people helping you with that now?
No, I'm the one doing the courses. Yeah, it's something I would like to look into, to find someone else who can help out with the delivery of the courses and also be able to cover other topics that I'm not an expert in. So I might know the basics of, but that person could teach the advanced part of the course. So I'm a bit hesitant. I want to go in that direction. I'm just not sure how to go about it. Maybe you have some advice for me.
Well, look, that's something our mutual acquaintance, Jason Dion, was able to do quite successfully. He relied on having to create new courses quite often and got tired of being the only one that could do that. So he started by outsourcing the curriculum and the scripting. And he got to a point where he had to just show up and read from a teleprompter for hours and hours and hours. And then eventually he outsourced that as well. I know personally I've had success finding YouTube's a great resource, but I would find people who were seemingly experts in certain topics that maybe I'm not an expert in, I'm not comfortable teaching on. So with my Piano in 21 Days course, if they buy the higher end package and get all the additional bonuses, there's several courses in there that they get that I'm not the teacher on. And I hired somebody to put those together for me. So I think I've done that 3 or 4 times. And really, I'm not that great at piano. Everything I have to teach about it is in my main 21 days course. That's kind of my pitch. Like, hey, be as good as me in just 21 days, But people were still asking for more having completed the course. Hey, now, I know you bash classical, but now that I've been through this, I still would kind of want to learn classical, or I want to learn jazz now, or I want to do this, I want to do that. It's like, well, I don't really know that myself, but let me try to find a resource that can help you. So I've had some success, but Jason is the one I've know that has the most success with that.
Yeah, I remember that podcast. That's also what motivated me to start going in that direction.
Yeah. Systems, automation, outsourcing can be very powerful.
True.
I get a lot of questions about selling courses, B2B versus B2C. Is yours mostly B2C, or do you do business to business as well?
I'm mostly B2C, but we do business to business as well. So usually it works like this, that someone, from a company takes our course, they like it, they want it for their team. Then, they get licenses for the team likes it, then the department finds out, and then they want it for the department, and then maybe they want to roll it out to other branches. So it starts to get bigger and bigger. But we don't directly approach businesses yet, at least. It just happens that someone from the team approaches us.
At this point in your business, what would you say that you're most proud of?
I would say the ability to decide what I would want to concentrate on, or what I want to do, and what topic I want to create a course on.
If this were a magic wand or like an evil wand, and I just wiped out your YouTube channel and all your courses and everything you've done, and you have the experience, but you had to start completely over today in 2024, what would you do?
I would start creating content first, I think, on social. I would pick a social media platform that I like and just start creating some content. And then I would start to create a course. Because for me, the thing is, I feel, on social media brings out a part of some creativity that I can't express in my courses. And the courses allow me to go in detail, which social media doesn't allow, because too much detail is just not liked on social media. That type of content doesn't do well. And, people appreciate that content in courses. They want details. So, and I like both myself. So I think I would do both. And, in the end, when, both social media helps helps bring audience for the courses.
That's really interesting, because it's different than how you actually got started. When we were starting the conversation and getting into your backstory, you got the idea for a course. The first thing you did was make your first course, right?
Yeah.
Looking back, if you had to do it over again, you would start with content marketing first before you made your first course, so that you had people to buy the course when it's available, I'm guessing?
Yes. And also to know exactly, you get a lot more feedback on social media. People can be brutal, but they can be honest. So you also can improve the course that you create based on that feedback.
Leila, this has been an absolute pleasure. Congrats on all your success. Really, really amazing to meet you and dive into your story. Where can people go to learn more about you and consume some of that content you've been working on?
Well, thank you, Jacques. It was great to be here. They can go to excelplus.com. They can also just search for my name on YouTube, on Instagram. It's Leila Gharani. Yeah. Well, I'm just super glad that we got to chat. Thank you so much.
Same here. Thanks, Leila. All right. Thanks again to Leila for joining me on the show. And again, thank you out there so much for listening. This has been episode 230 of the Online Course Show. And you can find the links and show notes for this one at oc.show/230. And if you're listening to this, then you absolutely need to be getting my free weekly newsletter. It's one actionable tip to your inbox every Friday to help you start or grow your course business. I'm not selling anything. It's just pure value for my audience every single week. We started that newsletter at the beginning of this year, and the response has been awesome. It allows me to share content and ideas with you in another format than this podcast. So once again, subscribe for free at oc.show/tips, oc.show/tips. That's going to do it for another episode here. Don't forget to take action on what you've heard here today. I'm rooting for you.